How's it going, Talk Forest TV? My name is Jack, and welcome to my preview for Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal, taking place at the Emirates Stadium tomorrow. I was going to say lunchtime. It's slightly after lunchtime, 2:00 kickoff. Sorry if you see me look up, or you can see my glasses. I do have the Liverpool Leeds game on in the background. Probably hoping that Liverpool can get something out of this one, because Leeds are on the same amount of points as us now, one place above us, so we could sort of leapfrog them. Should they lose and we win tomorrow. But obviously Arsenal away is going to be a difficult one. Of course it is. Arsenal are a fantastic side, a team that are unbeaten at home this season, a team who look like a real threat to Manchester City this season. I know Man City have gone back to the top of the Premier League, if only for the time it takes for the Forest Arsenal game to take place. I don't know. I feel like since the game against Liverpool, I'm kind of looking at this fixture with a bit more confidence, a bit more kind of positivity. I think going into these two games between sort of Liverpool and Arsenal, I was kind of not fearing the worst, but I was thinking, well, we're not really going to get anything from these two games. Probably going to get no points, might not even score, kind of thing. But we've got 3 points from our first game, and you never know what we're going to get for the second. I don't think anyone thought that we would get anything from the game against Liverpool. I remember speaking to one of my friends who is a big football fan, and he thought that we'd lose 5-0. He thought Forest were going to lose 5-0, and it'd be quite easy for Liverpool. But well, boy, was he wrong. Going into this one, then, like I say, Arsenal are still unbeaten at home, and they've got some unbelievable players. I mean, just look at their two wingers, who this season for me have been absolutely exceptional. Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. I think both of those two are going to cause so many problems for. I'm expecting Aurier and Williams to be in that position again. But yeah, they're going to struggle. Well, maybe not struggle, but they're going to have a lot of questions asked of them by those two young, exciting, tricky customers down the flanks. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus in the middle between those two. He's been really good this season, a fantastic buy for them. Has kind of slowed down a little bit, so that does kind of give us a bit more confidence, I suppose. At the start of the season, he was banging in goals for fun. He's recently kind of slowed down a tiny bit, but still a fantastic player. But for me, I think one of the main players for Arsenal, and someone that, should he get injured, should he get suspended or whatever, they're really going to struggle. And that's Thomas Partey. I think the way that he plays in the middle of that park, the way that he just almost everything runs through him, even in an attacking sense or the defensive sense, the way that he's able to move the ball about, the way he's able to drive forward the ball, or the way that he's able to try and sort of break play up and win the ball back sort of high up in that midfield. He's integral to the way that they play. And you look at the way Southampton dealt with him last weekend. They stopped him from being able to play those passes through the lines, which are causing so many problems in that first half and getting Arsenal in so many times. The way that they managed to deal with him is probably something that Cooper should be looking to try and implement for us. We really got to try and make sure that we don't let him get on the ball and control. And I know at the Emirates Stadium, we're the away side. It's probably going to be something that he does do, but we're going to have to try and limit the threat that he's got in the middle of the park as much as we can, really. And I think the man who plays alongside him, who's had a real resurgence this season, there was a point in time where I thought this man was probably done at Arsenal. You had that situation where he walked off the pitch and I think he threw his shirt on the floor and goaded and he cupped his ear to the Arsenal fans. And Granit Xhaka has had difficult periods at Arsenal, but this season he's been fantastic. He looks like a man, completely what would be the word, restored, I suppose. He's playing in a slightly different position this season under Arteta, playing a little bit more further forward, and rather than being that sort of deep line midfielder who drops in, picks the ball up from the defence, turns and tries to get play going. He he played a little bit more forward, so he's not having to do that so much. A bit less risk of him making a mistake. So I think he's been really, really good this season. A lot better than he has been of late. William Saliba at the back, fantastic. Ben White playing at right back's been really good. Wouldn't mind seeing him on the plane for England, to be honest, along with Aaron Ramsdale. You know, Arsenal have got a really good side. And obviously, we know that. We know what quality they've got. But we know what quality Liverpool have. You know, they had Salah, they have Firmino, Thiago didn't play against us, Fabinho, Henderson, Van Dijk, Alisson, you know, and we managed to still beat them. So, you know, just because one team has a lot of quality and a lot of good players and have played really well this season doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to beat us. It's going to be an easy match. I think over the last couple of games, definitely since that Leicester game, I'm a lot more confident now. We've seen a lot more what would the word be? Improvement in the way that we've been playing. That Leicester game was horrendous. But then in the 4 games since then, we've won 1, drawn 2 and lost 1. In that game alone, we conceded 4 against Leicester. In the period between... Oh, go on. Oh, sorry. In the period between... that Leicester game and today, we've conceded 2. So, you know, it really shows there's been a massive increase in the defensive stability and in the way that we're defending. And then even now going forward against Liverpool, we looked so much better going forward. In that Brighton game, you know, we really struggled to try and get anything going forward. But in the Liverpool match, we were a lot better, a lot more, I guess, not organised, but the players were linking up well and passing and moving and getting into positions that offer different avenues for us to play down. Sort of against Brighton, it was very try and clear the ball and then deal with what we've done with the clearance. Kind of, you know, against Aston Villa, we'd clear the ball and then we would react to our clearance rather than having an actual thought out way of being able to attack or get into a certain area. So obviously in that Liverpool game we showed that, and I'm hoping that we can see a bit more of that against Arsenal. I think the confidence will be higher now. The confidence will be at a position where they think, you know what, maybe we can get something out of this. No one gave us a chance against Liverpool, and probably no one's going to give us a chance against Arsenal. We can go in there and really sort of deliver a performance that shows what we're made of and what we're capable of and what we've improved on over the last couple of games. I'm feeling a little bit more confident, like I said. I mean, you look at Arsenal's last 2 games, it was a 1-1 draw away at Southampton, and to be honest with you, Southampton aren't necessarily having a good season. It's not like potentially a Brighton or a Newcastle who are having a really good start to the season. Southampton are doing a bit better than us, but they're still not really great this season, and they were able to get a point against an Arsenal side, and then in the Europa League, PSV beat Arsenal 2-0. So their confidence isn't going to be as high as it once was. You know, that sort of ability to believe every game they go into they're going to get 3 points by hook or by crook. They'll beat whoever goes in front of them. You know, that's not quite there, which you know, is going to be very helpful for us. Even looking at the Leeds game that they played at Ellen Road, it was a very lucky 1-0 win for them. Or not lucky, I guess you could say fortunate. A very fortunate 1-0 win where they sort of had to drive the luck a little bit of the penalty miss and then a penalty being overturned in the last minute and that sort of thing. So they've not been, you know, brilliant of late. And that could work for us either one or 2 ways. It could be a case of they're going to really turn up, they're going to show that they are still capable of what they performed and what they showed early on in the season. They're going to put things right and turn things round, which, you know, that could quite easily happen, and we could be in a little bit of trouble, a spot of bother if that does occur. Or it could be a case of they're going to continue to struggle, and their poor form's going to kind of not necessarily poor form. It's a draw in the league. That's how good they have been this season, but hopefully their little mini blip carries on for another game, and we're able to sort of show what we can do and get something out of it like we did against Liverpool. I think for me, I would usually go through my whole starting 11, but I've not really got too much time. I'm nearly at 10 minutes already. But for me, I think it's very much unchanged if possible. For me, I think that's what we're going to go for. That midfield 3 looked fantastic against Liverpool. Freuler in the middle with Kouyaté and Yates either side. My only potential change would maybe be Quixote for Mangala or O'Brien. I think, good save familiar, sorry. I think O'Brien and Mangala probably are good enough to start on this side. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe one of them does start, but I do think that it will be Quixote. He was brilliant against Liverpool. Obviously had to come off. He's kind of getting on a little bit, so he's not really able to play sort of a full 90 minutes sort of thing. But I think he'll probably start. And that midfield did a really good job. They battled hard, and then when they had the ball, they did very well with it. Either getting themselves forward in Quixote, he had that burst down the left where he managed to get a ball across, I think, and then sort of Yates getting involved in the I want you goal, and just being a real nuisance and just tracking back and getting stuck in and winning every single battle that well, not, I wouldn't say every single battle, but winning as many battles as he possibly can, just being really dogged in there. And then Ruben Freuler just being able to distribute the ball, keep us ticking in that sense. I think they'll be really important for us. The back four for me has to stay the same. Cook's won me over. I was a bit unsure about Cook in the Premier League. That guy is, he's definitely still good enough for the Premier League. He was fantastic against Liverpool. Williams on the left, I was a bit unsure about. I didn't realise that he plays on the left for Wales, so I don't see a problem with that. McKenna and Aurier.